Let's move on.
You've probably all heard of the Nazca lines, right? You know, those are the elaborate lines they drew to form various shapes in the desert. How did they make them, though? The Nazca created the images by removing the darker top layer of desert rock and soil to reveal the lighter colored earth below. The extremely arid desert has kept the images from eroding, so the pictures have lasted for more than 1,000 years. Many of the lines form the shapes of animals. Some images are similar to those that appear on Nazca pottery. For whatever reason, the Paracas never created any lines. No one knows the purpose of the Nazca lines, but there are several theories as to why they created such extensive works of art.
Okay, what is this part about? This part is about Nazca lines. They are elaborate lines to form various shapes. They created the shapes by removing the darker top layer and revealing the lighter colored earth below. Do you understand? And because it was made in the desert, it kept the images from eroding, so it lasted more than 1,000 years. Many of the lines form the shapes of animals, and they are similar to what appears on Nazca pottery. But no one knows the purpose of the lines. You've probably all heard of the Nazca lines, right? You know, those are the elaborate lines they drew to form various shapes in the desert. Form various shapes. What does form mean? Form means to make a shape, make something into a shape. Various. What does various mean? Various means there are a lot of different things in a kind. Various shapes in the desert. How did they make them though? What does though mean? Though is same as but, okay? How did they make them though is same as, but how did they make them? The Nazca created the images by removing the darker top layer of desert rock and soil to reveal the lighter colored earth below. The Nazca created, what does create mean? It means to make. The images, what's an image? Image is a picture. By removing the darker top layer, remove, what does that mean? Remove means to take something away from something. The darker top layer, what's a layer? Layer is a quantity of a material that covers a surface. Do you understand? Or between the two materials. Okay, between two layers. Removing the darker top layer of desert rock and soil. What is soil? Soil is the substance on the surface, on the land surface of the earth in which plants grow. Do you understand? To reveal, what does reveal mean? Reveal means to make something seen by uncovering it, okay? To show something by uncovering it. To reveal the lighter colored earth below. What is earth? Earth is the same as soil. The extremely arid desert has kept the images from eroding, so the pictures have lasted for more than 1,000 years. The extremely, what does that mean, extremely? Extreme means to a great degree. So it means very much. Arid desert has kept the images from eroding. Keep something from being something. What does that mean? It means it prevents something from being done something. Okay? Kept the images from eroding. What does erode mean? Erode means rock or soil being gradually destroyed by weather or sea or wind. Okay? So the pictures have lasted for more than 1,000 years. Okay? Many of the lines from the shapes form the shapes of animals. Some images are similar to those that appear on Nazca pottery. That appear, what does that mean? Appear means that is shown on Nazca pottery. For whatever reason, the Paracas never created any lines. For whatever reason, what does that mean? It means we don't know the reason, okay? The Paracas never created any lines. No one knows the purpose of the Nazca lines, but there are several theories as to why they created such extensive works of art. No one knows the purpose. What is purpose? Purpose is the reason why something is done. But there are several theories. What's a theory? Theory is an idea, a formal idea or set of ideas that explains things, all right? As to why. What does as to mean? As to means for. As to why they created means for why they are created. Theories as to why they created means theory for why they created. Okay? Such extensive. What does that mean? Extensive. Extensive means covering a large physical area. Do you understand? Let's look at some questions. The questions. Why does the professor explain the burial practices of Paracas? What does burial mean? Burial means the action of burying. Okay? What is practice? Practice is something that is actually done. So why did he explain the burial practices? To say that the artifacts were in a good condition. Do you understand? Because they were like Egyptian mummies. So C is the answer. To account for the good condition of the artifacts that have been found. To account for. What does that mean? Account for. Account means to account for means to provide explanation for. You understand? The good condition of the artifacts that have been found. So C is the answer. Let's look at other options. A. To mention that they were different from those of the Nazca. As a matter of fact, they weren't different, right? What did they say? Nazca also wrapped their dead in textiles and buried them in the desert. We have several examples of Nazca textiles to examine today. That is why we have it, okay? So A is not the answer. B. To claim that the Paracas were the only Southern American to use that method. No, right? Because the Nazca has used it too. D. To talk about why many Paracas artifacts have death motifs. What is a motif? Motif is a theme. You understand? The professor said nothing about Paracas artifacts having death motifs, death themes. So this is not the answer. What are Nazca lines? They are the lines that the people have drawn in the desert, right? So what is the answer? C, right? Lines that create large shapes in the desert. Anyhow, let's look at other options. Lines that were made by aliens long ago. What is an alien? Alien is a person who comes from a different area or country. Or the beings from outer space is also aliens. So, but they are not made by aliens. So this is not the answer. Naturally forming lines in the Nazca's territory. What is a territory? Territory is the area of land which is governed by a country. Okay? But they are not naturally forming lines. People drew it. So this is not the answer. D. Lines that were used as roads by Nazca. Is this right? They were not used as roads. They were just pictures. So this is not the answer. Based on the information in the lecture, do the following sentences refer to Paracas art or Nazca art? Which is which? Hold on. Are you seeing this clearly? Their pottery was colored first and then fired. Which one is this? Nazca, right? Nazca colored their pottery before firing it. 2. They made double spouts on their pottery. This is also Nazca, right? Nazca pots often had double spouts, whereas Paracas pottery had a single spout for pouring. So this is also Nazca. They made single spouts on their pottery. This is Paracas. Their pottery has some cat-like shapes. Which one? Paracas, right? Archaeologists have found many pieces of Paracas pottery. Much of it has distinctive cat-like shapes. So this is Paracas. We will see some images of Nazca. Hold on. How do I go to... How do I go to Google from here? Oh my god. Let's look at some images to see what it is. Are you seeing this properly? Do you see these images? Let's look at this one. What does this look like? This looks like a bird, right? This is Nazca lines. If you see it from here, it doesn't look like a picture. It doesn't look like something special. It's an ordinary drawing, right? But this is drawn in a very large area of land. That means it's a mystery that how the people of the past have drawn this, because they won't know where is where while they drew it. They couldn't, they weren't able to see this image from the top. So how did they draw it? It covers a large area. That's the mystery. You understand? Okay. All right. I think we have covered everything. Thank you for viewing. Bye bye.